Oh, jam! Hello again and welcome back to the TMP Nerf Report.
Wow. I've never actually seen that movie. I don't know what the noise sounds like.
I've got it in my sound effects file. Let me play it for you.
Oh, cool.
That was pretty good, though. I knew what you were going for. I'm Chewie. This is Mike, who's never seen Inception. Today I learned. And we're here because there are more Nerfs. It doesn't say what the patch is. So in patch whatever.
Oh, it doesn't have the version number.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. But they're going live on May 22nd, which is Tuesday. Right.
Right.
So we had to get this done now. Hopefully you're seeing this before Tuesday. Right now, in Hearthstone, everything's kind of a mess. There are 3-ish decks that are basically ruling the world. There's even Paladin, there's Cube Warlock, and then at higher ranks there's Quest Rogue. And there's a little bit of Murloc Paladin up in there.
Mm.
And as you go lower in the ranks, there's a lot of Spiteful Druid. And that's pretty much it. Everything else is kind of, if you're trying to rank up, playing anything other than those few decks is actually a waste of time. I've been on a free fall since the beginning of the season. I started with like 2 wins before I hit rank 10 and hit a new floor, and I've just dropped.
Gosh.
Just dropped. I've slowly started to work my way up. I'm at like rank 12 and 2 stars or 3 or something now, but it's been bad. I can't buy a win because I refuse to play even Paladin, and up until last week I refused to play Cube Warlock, but I can only lose so much before I give in to some of the dark side.
Mm-hmm.
And since N'Zoth is gone, I don't feel so bad about it.
Right.
Blizzard recognizes this and has decided to start swinging the Nerf hammer. And oh my god. Like, they're not kidding around when they say this meta needs to change.
Yeah, they went in pretty hard. I was surprised to see it too.
Yeah. But first we get to start with a thing that has nothing to do with standard at all. And that's the Naga Sea Witch. As you can see right here-ish, it's gonna go from 5 mana to 8 mana. Do you know why this is? You don't play Wild, do you?
I know what the interaction is.
Okay.
And I know it's like turn 5, hey, check out all my 8/8s.
That
Isn't that
exactly
lovely?
it. Yeah. The Naga Sea Witch Giants Warlock deck, while I don't think it has like an insane win rate, like I don't think it's completely ruling the format. Sometimes it's sort of like, I put it like this when I was talking to someone about it on Twitter. It's like Barnes into Yashiraj in Big Priest. Sometimes you just win. Because I was like, it's a shame that the Giants Warlock deck is going to die. And he's like, it's not going to die. I'm like, it's not going to die? He goes, no, it's like... I was like, it's been a while since I touched Wild, but it seems like it was half Giants and then half Warlock stuff. And he said, yeah, it's half ways to cheat out Voidlord and Mal'Ganis and then Tal'Daram to copy them.
Okay.
And I went, oh, that's still only half a deck. Because the other half is Naga Sea Witch and a bunch of Giants that you will probably not play without Naga Sea Witch. So, I think the deck is going to die. I don't play Wild, so take this with a grain of salt, but pushing it back from turn 5, oops, I win, to turn 8, oops, I win, is big. Like, adding 3 turns to the oops, I win is gonna drop the... It's gonna drop the amount of oops I win, because it's 3 turns later.
Yeah, because I would think that the oops kind of needs to have the ability to happen earlier in the game to be worth bothering with.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you could just be playing some other conventional broken thing.
Exactly. Yeah,
that might not clog up your hand for the first half of the game.
But again, we don't play Wild, so shut up, chair.
Because it's not like I guess the Magic analogy. It's not like Thopter Depths, because Depths could go off all of a sudden early in the game. But that's not what Naga Sea Witch can do at 8 mana.
Depths?
Dark Depths?
What's that got to do with Thopters?
Thopter Depths. Thopter Depths was a blue, white, black deck. It had Thopter Foundry and Sword of the Meek on one side to just grind out a game. And it had Dark Depths Vampire Hexmage on the other side to...
Right. So it had both of the combos in it.
Yes.
My brain was like, Thopters and Dark Depths? Those don't go together in any way.
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
It was two things pressed together into one deck that could either grind out a long game or win all of a sudden.
Okay. So, and yeah, that's sort of what the Giants Warlock deck is now, is it's got the huge combo, oops, I win, and then the long grindy nonsense with, it's not really long and grindy, but I guess if you've got Void Lords, it's kind of long and grindy.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's going to get pushed back from turn 5 to turn 8, and they say it's to give other decks the ability to have 8 mana answers, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But I still don't know if, like you said, it's going to be worth bothering with when there are other decks in Wild that probably do something similar on turn 8.
Right. Or better.
Or better. So we'll find out, I guess. So then we go to the first standard change, Spiteful Summoner, bumping it up from 6 mana to 7. Now, I'm not going to lie, this one blindsided me until it was explained to me. I was like, Spiteful decks aren't even a problem, really. It's not that the decks are a problem, it's that when rotation happened, you lost some of your less impressive 10 drops that Spiteful Summoner, because Spiteful Summoner, you play in Druid and Priest with Ultimate Infestation or Mind Control.
Yeah.
And sometimes you would get a 6/6 and go, because you got Cthulhu. And sometimes you were playing it in a Cthulhu deck and you were like, that doesn't happen very often though. And sometimes you would get, N'Zoth and just get a 5/7 with your 4/4, which for 6 mana is still insane, but still deal withable.
Right.
And then sometimes you'd get Yashiraj and, game over. But now, like, your worst option is an 8/8, or your average option is an 8/8. There's also the Derpasaur at 7/14.
Yes.
And then Tarantus and Deathwing, and that's it.
I'm sick of seeing Tarantus pop out of a Spiteful Summoner. I'm so sick of it.
Are you sick of it?
Yes.
He's sick of it, y'all. Just because rotation happened and the number of 10 drops shrank, Spiteful Summoner actually got a lot more consistent and more better. I guess I'm sticking with that. So, in an effort to try to make it slightly more fair, they've just bumped it up 1 mana.
Yeah, and like the Naga Sea Witch thing, it moves it into a slightly later state of the game where the other player has more of a chance of being able to do something about what just happened.
Right. There was some talk from people like Brian Kibler and whoever about making it consume the spell that it revealed. But I'm glad they didn't go to all that nonsense. Just bump it up a mana, slow it down a turn, so that opposing decks can better deal with an 8/8.
Yeah. That would make mechanical sense, eating the spell, but...
Yeah, but that's not the card that they made, so trying to stick to the functionality as much as possible.
Right.
Speaking of sticking to the functionality, so then we get into Warlock. Because Warlock has been a problem for a while. Actually, since Kobolds and Catacombs came out. Because Warlock was nothing, and then they printed Void Lord, Skull, Lackey, Dark Pact, all in the same set. And suddenly Warlock was a problem. Then they nerfed Raza Priest.
Yeah.
And Warlock got worse. Better? Bigger part of the meta.
Yes.
And a large portion of that is due to these next two cards, but we're going to focus on Dark Pact first. Destroy a friendly minion, restore 8 health, is now destroy a friendly minion, restore 4 health. Because Warlock is going to tap for the first couple turns. It's going to play Kobold Librarian? Yeah. And it's going to Hellfire. And then it's going to gain 8 life back. Whoop. That's 4 taps for free.
I mean, Dark Pact is a beating even when they're sacrificing a Kobold Librarian. You know, to say nothing of the other stuff that can be done with it.
Yeah, one of the ways that you can get around the Q block deck is to outrun it.
Yeah.
But if it goes Kobold Librarian, Dark Pact for 2 mana, gain 6 life, and draw a card. Like, that's really bad for the aggressive decks.
You have a class that really shouldn't be getting a lot of good healing because of the nature of its hero power and the nature of the way its cards work. And you're giving it healing that works. You're giving it healing that comes at a better rate than the classes that are supposed to be doing it well. The Paladin and the Priest.
Yeah. So rather than bump its mana cost, because one of the ways you can actually tech against it is with Skulking Geist.
Mm-hmm.
So upping its mana cost would slow it down, but it would also remove that little bit of strategy. And that's not super common, but it's a thing you can do.
It's something I would rely on in a few decks.
And it's not a thing that they wanted to remove, so they've just reduced the healing. So it's still 1 mana, it still sacks a friendly minion, but instead of getting 8 life back, you're only getting 4, which is still good.
Yeah.
It's just not insane.
Right.
And that will mean that's only 2 free taps as opposed to 4 free taps, which is insane.
Yeah, because you still have the Spellstone to pick up the slack.
Yes, because the Spellstone is still really good.
Which is also healing at a better rate than the healing classes, but
yeah,
you have to build your deck in a certain way to exploit it at least.
Or just play 2 Librarians and 2 Hellfires and you're good.
That counts as a certain way.
Yeah, the Warlock way. But, so yeah, that's Dark Pact. Now, the other half of this obnoxious coin is the Possessed Lackey. He is jumping from 5 mana to 6, and this makes me happy. It's the same reason. Getting a free 9-drop on turn 5, because Lackey coin Dark Pact, Void Lord, is a brutal beating, but getting it on turn 6 or 7, 6 with a coin, 7 without, is more deal withable. That's only 2 turns early for Void Lord. And it's 2 turns late, but without the discard for a Doomguard, which feels more fair. And it gives you, as the opposing deck, 1 more turn to do as much damage as possible. And I think these 2 nerfs, the Dark Pact and the Possessed Lackey, will make it... It'll bring the power level down enough. Like,
yeah.
To make... It's not going to kill the deck, obviously, because everything still functions properly and everything's still good. But it'll slow it down just enough for other decks to catch up.
Even 1 turn makes a big difference, but I mean, my issue with it is that I'm just surprised that they designed a card with a recruit ability that doesn't put the mana cost under some bound in some way.
Yeah.
If you can chain up into something that costs $1 million, I don't know. That just seems like a bad call, but it's too late for that. I don't think they would change that.
Yeah.
Like, that was always my original beef with Possessed Lackey.
Yeah. And like the Skull of the Minari is a problem. Because I lost a game just a few days ago because my opponent played a Skull on turn 5. On turn 6 he got a Void Lord. On turn 7 he got a Void Lord. And on turn 8 he got a Doomguard. For free. And I was like, see, that's not cool. But I also didn't have any weapon removal in my deck. And that's a thing you can do against the skull. If they play a skull and you're holding an acidic swampoos, you go, and then you make them swear.
Right.
So, but with Possessed Lackey, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, you're gonna use the silence that you should be using on the Void Lord.
Exactly. Or the cube.
Or the cube, yes.
So, besides, most of the time you don't get a chance to silence it because they go...
Yeah, it's already dead.
Lackey packed, ha!
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think just slowing it down a turn will bring... It's not going to kill the deck, but it'll bring the power level down just enough for other decks to catch up and be viable. Because the reason they're doing this is because the decks that are a problem are such a problem that playing anything else is... actively pointless and stupid.
Yeah, and the corresponding change to Dark Pact also makes a real big difference for Lackey in the way that Lackey functions. Because you're getting so much less advantage when you're using the two cards together. You have to wait another turn, and you're getting much less of a life advantage.
Right, right. So hopefully that will help the Warlock problem. But there's another problem. As we said before, even Paladin is the real boogeyman. You remember when the whole thing, like the new set came out, it was even Paladin and odd Paladin, and you just run into the two of them constantly?
Yeah.
Yeah, not anymore. Sort of ran out of odd Paladin, because comparatively, odd Paladin's stupid.
That's why I play it.
Even Paladin has Call to Arms.
Yes.
And it has the Dry Gulch Jailer.
Yes.
And it has Taldaram.
Yes.
There's something else it's got to... Oh, here lately, I've seen Mountain Giants.
Really?
Yeah, because their hand fills up with Dry Gulch Jailer 1/1s. So they go, bam, Mountain Giant. Then they play their 1/1s. It's got Avenging Wrath, which is a card that's seeing play again, which is really cool. It's got Equality, Consecration. It's just got all of the stuff you could ever want.
Yeah.
And a bunch of those are the reloads. You know, you wipe the board and they go, Call to Arms. I got a board again. And you're like, damn it. So you wipe the board and they go, other Call to Arms. And you're like, and you're like, wipe the board again. And they go, Dry Gulch Jailer. And you're like, and then Taldaram. And you're like, now I have to kill that and give them more 1/1s. And they're like, thanks. And it's the reloads. Like, I was playing a lot of Even Warlock when this whole thing started, and the way that I would beat the Even Paladins is just by managing my board clears, because when you run out of board clears, you lose. Call to Arms is a big part of that. It's the main part of that. And they've agreed that Call to Arms is actually too good. Finally. Seems like we said that when it was shown. We're like, that's really too good, right?
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Because in the Even Paladin deck, you get 3 minions that cost 2 or less, which means you get 3 minions that cost 2. Every time. And they're upping that from 4 mana to 5. Even Paladin just can't use it.
Right.
Because it's now an odd card. But Odd Paladin won't use it because it says get 3 1-drops for 5 mana. Now, there might be some sort of bizarre world in which that's really good. I don't think it's this one.
It gotta be pretty bizarre.
I mean, if you get the Protector Argent Squire for just 1 card out of hand, that's pretty good, but not without a follow-up?
Yeah.
So,
The Murloc Paladin will like it.
But yeah, this doesn't, like, this hurts the Murloc Paladin deck, but it doesn't shoot it in the face. Like, it'll still probably play it, because it's still 3 minions on the board for 1 card and 5 mana. Which, I mean, a Murloc Paladin deck didn't necessarily want to just play it on turn 4. It wanted to, like, do its Murloc setup thing. So you would see it try to do stuff, wait for a board clear, and then it would play a Call to Arms.
Right.
So, I mean, it'll slow a Murloc Paladin down a little bit, but not much. So Murloc Paladin might be the new boogeyman. But, you know, that's fine. We're used to that.
Yes.
And it doesn't have those insane Murloc 1-drops anymore, so... But, yeah, this I'm super, super happy with. Anything else? There's nothing else really to say about Call to Arms, is there?
We covered it.
Yeah. It's too good, and now it's less too good. So then we get to the weird one that I'm cool with, but...
I was completely unaware that this was a thing until I read this article.
Yeah.
I just did not know. Otherwise, I would be playing the deck myself. Because I love that deck.
Monster. So, Quest Rogue has shown up again, especially at higher levels. Once you get into like low legend, it's apparently everywhere, and it falls off as you drop lower. But two things happened. Well, one thing happened really that caused it to have another spike, and that's the 1/3 rush guy with lifesteal.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because once you finish the quest, you can go 5/5 with lifesteal, hit your dude, gain 5 life.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how much early damage you took. I actually played against the Quest Rogue earlier today, and then he shadow stepped it, played it again, and ran it into another one of my guys, and he just gained 10 life.
Wow.
I was like, luckily I was playing Q block, so I just won. Like 2 turns later because I had Doom Guards and cubes and a Dark Pact. So, you know. But so yeah, the actual nerf, instead of the Crystal Core, which is your reward for finishing the quest, being 5/5, they're now just going to be 4/4. Which, you remember when they nerfed Spreading Plague? And we talked about how that 5 health was huge.
Yes.
Because it dodged so much of the basic removal and stuff. So does that. But now they're only 4/4, so if you've got a swipe, you can kill a thing. It takes 3 of them to kill a Void Lord now, as opposed to just 2. That was actually the main thing, was playing against that Quest Rogue earlier today. He would just run 2 guys into my Void Lord. That's actually what he did with the... What is the 1/3 lifesteal guy called? Do you remember?
I don't know. It's some lizard thing.
It's some lizard thing. We're sorry. It's on the screen right now, or it was earlier. So
yeah. Again, I'm not educated enough to remember this stuff.
I don't remember these cards. But yeah, he played it, ran it into my Void Lord, shadow stepped it, played it again, ran it into my Void Lord, and he just gained 10 life and killed my 3/9. And I was like, but it means like it takes 2 4/4s to kill a Tar Creeper, or 1 and a hero power, but still they can't just free kill a Tar Creeper,
right?
Which is one of the basic, oh god, please don't kill me, here's a taunt. It also changes the clock. Like, they don't have to just hit you with 6 charge guys,
right?
Which is easy. You know, bore your face, shadow step one of them, bore your face, vanish, next turn kill you. Now it takes what do you start at? 30?
30.
So now it takes what, 7? No, 8.
8 hits.
8
hits from 30. Yeah.
8 hits when you're at full life as opposed to just 6, which doesn't sound like much, but it's a lot. It's really hard to just hit you 8 times from hand. But hitting you 6 times from hand, it's happened to me, and it's not funny. So I really like this. It helps other slow decks, because Quest Rogue is really good against well, it's really good against the slow control decks. So if slow control decks, well, as is, you know, if all of your dudes are 5/5s, slow control decks just don't need to exist because they can't win if they run into a Quest Rogue. Like, this is all, you know, trying to balance the meta. Right now it's like even Paladin, Q block, Quest Rogue, everything else. And like, here's the 50% win rate line, and only those 3 are up here and everything else sucks. But if so, they've smacked the top 2 down and pushed them down some, so now other stuff can rise. But if you want to have control decks in a meta, you can't have this deck, because this deck eats them alive. And for someone like me who desperately loves control decks in Hearthstone, this is the bane of my existence. So just bringing it down a notch to allow control decks to exist seems fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that also backing off the quest requirement to 4 copies would have been okay, or would it have just made this a different problem at the same level?
In addition to this nerf, go back.
Yeah, to back it up to the original quest requirement of 4 instead of 5.
I think with so many ways to finish the quest with 5 hits, I think 4 would probably still be a problem. Yeah.
Okay. And I know Sonya Shadow Dancer. Is that her name?
Yeah. She's actually the main problem.
Okay.
To make that deck busted. If you get out of Sonya and you have the charge or a rush guy in hand, like the 1/3 or a boar, you just wipe the board and have a handful of damage, and it's brutal.
Yeah, I think that happened to me on a monster hunt, and I was pretty aggravated at that interaction.
Wow. That's brutal.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think she is actually a reason to not back up the quest requirements.
That makes sense.
I forgot all about her. I'm glad you brought her up, because she's actually, because I haven't seen her in the last 2 Quest Rogue games I played. I don't play much Hearthstone these days because it sucks. Because the meta is so heavily tilted in the favor of those 3 decks that every match feels like a slog, and I'm like, I don't want to play that much, but I keep up daily quests, and usually that's very frustrating. If I get win games with any class that I don't have like a really solid deck with, I re-roll them, and if I can't re-roll it, I re-roll it tomorrow. It's that bad. But hopefully this will, like I said, open up the meta and allow some of the other decks with sub 50% win rates to rise up, and some of these will drop down slightly, and we'll be able to meet in the middle somewhere, and that would be, and I'm still holding the mouse, and meet in the middle somewhere, and it'll be able to be more healthy.
Yeah.
Because I was really digging the Witchwood standard meta when it first came out, more than I usually dig the brand new set came out meta, where everything works. You know, you could play nonsense and win, because I was playing like nonsense and winning, but it wasn't total like even Warlock sounds really stupid, but it's so good. It's so good, but it has trouble beating Cube Luck, and it has trouble beating even Paladin, so why bother playing it? And I'm not even at a high rank. As I said, I'm at like rank 11, 12 now. So it's not like I'm on the run to legend or anything. I was wanting to run to legend, and then the meta turned to crap, and I refused to play even Paladin. So yeah, hopefully this will help, and we'll be good now. And hopefully Wild will be less gianty, I guess. I don't know. I don't play Wild. I'm not a savage. Wait, or I am a savage, so I don't play Wild.
Right. Yeah.
What? In Magic terms, the savages play standard, and all the refined people play legacy.
Yes.
But it seems like in Hearthstone it's the other way around.
It is. That's weird.
That is weird. But anyway, so let us know what you guys think of the nerfs. Are you one of those godless heathens that was playing even Paladin and just trucking up the ladder and life is good? Well, you suck. Ha! You're bad and you should feel bad. No, really. But do you think this will help one of your decks that you like? Like, I'm hoping that this means Miracle Rogue with the Felderai Strider will bump up enough to be worth playing. Maybe some sort of warrior deck will be... I've got like 3 warrior decks built. One is stupid and memey, and the other 2 are actual decks. And I don't like either one of them because they can't... They don't have a good win rate against both of the 2 big bads. So yeah, let us know what you think, and anything else?
No, not from my end.
Yeah, so there you go. This has been the TMP Nerf Report. Do all the like and favorite and subscribe and Patreon and all that good stuff, because, you know, we appreciate it. And yeah, so I've been Chewie. He's been Mike. He was going to say it, and then I beat him to it.
Yeah. But I knew that I was going to come in a little late, so I started to panic, and it was probably going to come out all screwed up, so I'm glad he covered for me.
Mike! Like that.
Basically. One of those things, maybe.
So, thank you all so very much for watching, and go play some Hearthstone. hopefully it'll be better soon.